Let's talk about the first stage in the awakening process. There's 3 stages to the what I would call abiding, awakening, abiding presence, enlightenment level 1. So there's 2 before that. Excuse the mayhem. If you want the non-mayhem version without birds, there's an older video that'll be linked below. And how I speak is very different because a lot's changed since I made that video. So I'm Jason at AwakenedEssence.com, and this is where you can define really clearly what your presence practice is, your awakening levels, how to deepen it, and use the 9-pillar framework that's here in this website, as well as Student Success Tutor and LearnWhispering.com. The other 2 don't have the spiritual mumbo jumbo in, eh? So this is the precision about this, so I can be exact about it in a way that you can measure it, a teenager can measure it, and you can measure it when it comes to dealing with beautiful wild animals that can inflict pain and damage and all sorts of other things. This is how it's measurable, eh? So the first major part in the spiritual search to awakening, and I'll use Adyashanti's levels for this one, is the got it, lost it, as he terms it in his book, The End of Your World. So that's where you have an awakening or awakenings or hundreds of awakenings, and can you bring it in instantaneously faster than those birds flew away? If not, then it's not abiding. Oh, naughty bird. Right. If you can't bring your awakening and your presence and your peace into whatever's going on for you, as quick as those birds have vanished, and probably will do so again during this video, then that's a sign that it's in the got it, lost it phase, eh? Especially if it takes you more than half an hour because you've got emotionally stirred, or you've gone into physical shock because of an accident, or something fairly full on, or you've got a temper running, or some sort of emotional disturbance going, and you can't hold your presence at the same time, concurrently. Let's be clear about this, concurrently. This is why there's so many myths in the spiritual search that really just bog people down so they don't get anywhere. Examine the 9-pillar framework here, examine these videos, and there's the paid courses to really get you moving, and there's coaching in the Mastery Club. So, got it, lost it, you have an awakening. Oh my God! Well, literally, right? You go into unity, you have a unity experience, a heart experience, or you just have some sort of transcendental moment where you realize, wow, there's a lot more to this than being a broken human being. Grace. I assume the camera caught it, but when I record videos, what these birds do is astounding. Which is why in a lot of videos where I'm talking about hard topics, they bite me really hard and make me bleed. They're magical. Grace in action. So this first phase, something happens and you realise you're a lot bigger than your body. Maybe it's a love type unity oneness experience where you have blissed out love with a geographical area, a flock of birds, an entire mountain range. You just go into that state of unity and bliss. And it will have an impact, eh? As I say, have an impact. A bird knocked the phone. So being aware of your backside, feeling your calf muscles, noticing your tummy breathing. And if you've got crap running, contract your pelvic floor. Yep, those muscles down there between your legs. Give it a squeeze. Land in your body, step 1 of correct presence practice, which is fundamental, and step 1, pillar 1 in the 9-pillar framework. Oh, that was a little bit loud, boys and girls. Right, being aware of your pelvic floor, get in your body. If you're not doing that when you're practicing presence, you're not doing correct presence practice correctly, and the awakening process will be most dubious for you. Now, you might just have it in your head or out of your body or whatever, and it's got no substance to it. It's not really real. We make it real here, eh? So, but these awakenings happen because you just fall into them. Oh. Or you're doing something like, you know, a Vipassana meditation retreat where you're spending 10 hours a day meditating, working through excruciating pain and doing the process, not speaking, and you have those experiences because you've built up the energetic juice, you've built up the focus and attention. This is the whole key, eh? Conscious volitional attention, my 3 favourite words. Without that, it's not real. Creating it in your mind and thinking it, or just pretending it's there because it's a truism. Yes, we're all enlightened even if you're totally asleep. But for it to be validated, it needs to be in your body, present, here. And you can do things like deal with a chaotic flock of wild, dangerous biting parrots. Now these experiences can last for a while. You can have an awakening experience that can last for a substantial amount of time. So before I did hit the proper abiding awakening as defined here in this website, step 3, abiding presence, default consciously choosing, and unconsciously the habit is formed like you can tie a shoelace, right? Do you think about tying a shoelace? So can you enter your presence that fast? When you can, it's because it's unconsciously wired and your neurology's flipped, as well as doing it properly so you're in your body, pelvic floor. So in the got it, lost it phase, some days you might be able to bring it back really quick because you're in a good cycle. Cycles will impact you the most in that first phase. Hello, sweet. Hey. You may have an awakening that lasts up to 5 months. I've certainly had them last that long. A full decade before I hit the abiding presence phase that I define here as the aim of this website and the course is the Laws of Grace. Okay, the Laws of Grace course, which covers everything. It's humongous. That's a technical word for around 100 videos or more. So all of the things that trip people up are discussed a number of different ways in different videos. Hey, state change. Am I here? Are you still here? Check your pelvic floor. Are you aware of your inner body, your presence, and is the divine yum yum here? That's a really good measure of your awakening, eh? How fast can you bring it back? How instantaneous is it? How instantaneous is it when major crap's going down? Right? In the state of Locktoria here, we're now into our 6th prison-style lockdown. This is my exercise time and I'm socially distanced. Closest person is 100 metres away. And my buddies are back. So how quickly can you re-enter the state of presence, regardless of what's going on and how frequently? This is an indicator. So when you're in this first phase of got it, lost it, you know, you might have a whopping awakening and it will shock you, and you'll sit in the afterglow for a period of time, i.e. 1 hour to maybe 4 months, where you try and drag it back and you create it in your head saying, oh yeah, it's here, it's here, it's here, but is it really? Is it in your body? Are you having that same level of juicy communication, or are you just using what we would call in NLP your visual recall, auditory recall and emotional recall, and just sensing it like it's kind of happening now, even though it's not? Hey, sweet. Nah, don't bite my ear. Is that you, Wurzel? Because we're going to train you not to bite my ear, because I'm not going to feed you when you do that anymore. We're all creatures of habit, and this is what it's all about. And I was silly enough to feed this bird when he was sitting on my shoulder, and now he bites my ear. Cockatoos can learn a bad habit in 2 weeks. Can you learn to be permanently awake in 2 weeks? If you do, please make contact. I'd love to know how you did it. Is it you, Wurzel? I don't think it is. You'll have to come down, buddy. And this is how you talk to yourself, eh? You notice how I talk to the birds? This is why I have the birds here, and, you know, I do all the same thing at Student Success Tutor and LearnWhispering.com, because when you talk to yourself that way inside, there's a lot less war going on, eh? You don't have to be worried about your ego and treat it like it's a monster that you need to destroy. A lot of people like destroying these beautiful animals because they can be destructive. But they deserve to live on this planet as much as we do, and they're gorgeous. They're not killing the planet. They don't create carbon dioxide and nitrous oxide and methane like we do. Hey, sweets. Hey. In fact, these guys will weed the weeds out of your lawn for you. They like the onion grass thing. So do these ones, the corellas. How's your backside? Noticing the space, holding the presence. My presence encapsulates these animals. So you may be able to re-enter your presence state, your expanded state, your peaceful state, for a period of time after a big awakening, and then it will slowly fade away, and you'll go to this place of, I want that back. And if it's not instantly back, tangibly in your body back, then that's not abiding awakening. So for me, I kind of had that phase over 2 decades or so, with a very large range of esoteric unity, oneness, enlightenment type experience. Hey, don't bite. You'll get the squash if you do that to me, buddy. But a lot of people believe if they've had one small insight that lasted half a second, that they're enlightened. And some of the shorter ones can be the most powerful, because they're so beyond time and space, you do literally become the universe. So when you've had one of these awakenings, if you know how to do the correct presence practice correctly, and I use those words religiously all the time, because 99% of seekers I've observed over the last 17, 18 years don't do it correctly, so they don't properly awaken. That's why I say it's mathematical. That this process of using the correct presence practice process, the 9-pillar framework that's freely available here on the website, and the Epic Laws of Grace course where we cover all the potholes. You can do this easy peasy in 5 years by yourself, home studying and rewatching the videos, and there's the coaching and the mastery club for those that want a bit more, you know. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. Another state change from our little feathered friends. So checking in again in your body, backside, your hands, your tummy, get you out of your head, eh? It's all about focus and habit. So this cycle can go on for quite a long time, if not a lifetime. And you may be in that place where you believe you've got it. I did that. Oh yeah. Claiming it's fine. Do you have the evidence to back it up? And I teach you here in this website, in the free stuff, and in these videos, and we get exquisitely into it into the courses, how to validate it properly. So you can write it down in your journal. And the journal is an evidence gathering device. That's why I place a lot of importance on it. It keeps you focused and it's reinforcing. Pillar 5, your unconscious mind. So awakening is a habit, conscious and unconscious, which is why I talk about tennis, Roger Federer, and anything else really, when you're a master at your subject. And that's what abiding awakening is. You become a master at the skill of being present, so it becomes the habit through all of your systems, all of your neurology. It integrates through your ego. Carl Jung had it right. Your ego is totally required and it doesn't die even in some of the more advanced stages of enlightenment that I talk about here. Otherwise you won't cope. You'll end up in the loony bin, or you'll turn into a monster that transgresses other people's boundaries, #MeToo, and I get right into that here on the website, the cult page and all that sort of stuff. Doing things to people that are, you know, will put you in jail if you get caught, if you catch my drift. It's about respect, eh? What would a good person do? I sure as hell wouldn't want to get into your underwear, that's for sure. It's a different thing if it's going to be your partner, eh? But it's not a swingers club, this enlightenment bizzo. That's what swingers clubs are for, eh? I don't know why that cropped up, but I go with the flow. And once you've had one of these awakenings, or you're on your 30th awakening and it's still not instantaneous here, a priori in life, in the office, in the childcare, when you stub your toe, there may be periods where you have quite a drought and you have all your emotional crap come up, because it needs cleaning out, eh? When you've had a whopper of an awakening, I got it, lost it, and it's gone, then treat that as motivation. That's what I did, because I was devastated after I lost a whole bunch of mine. I was just so distraught, and it's just like, it just made me really obsessed. 3 decades later, here I am, still obsessed, because there's more, there's always more. Pillar 7 never stops, and it's the structure. It's the structure of this 9-pillar framework, which starts with correct presence practice. And it includes all of you, your ego, because you're screwed without it. You won't cope with the more advanced levels of enlightenment if your human system, yeah, you're a squawky wee man. You gonna come over? You won't cope. You still need your ego, so don't try and kill it. Don't use it as an insult. It's like these cockatoos. You've got to train it properly. That's why they're here. They're fantastic habit machines. What a beautiful crest, eh? Habit machines. So what's your habit? Is your habit to be absent? Is your habit just to think about presence practice instead of doing the 4 steps to presence practice? You do the first 3, God does the 4th one. That's where the no-doer is, eh? God, grace. I call it grace for a reason. The grace of the divine. Coming up. It's gonna come up. Yeah. Speak nicely to yourself. And your ego and unconscious mind will follow. Hey, sweet. Hey? Are you Mr. Jumpy? I think you are. It's a habit. And as you clear out your stuff, you clear out your ego, your psychological protective mechanisms, so you can hold bigger states of unity in balance without going to the loony bin, then that will happen for you. That's why you face the tests, eh? You will get tested. Hang on, we're all having a test. A global test for all humans. It's called pandemic. Lockdown. And all those tests, can I survive while I'm in lockdown and not earning money? Can I survive the sickness? And all that stuff. But are you at peace and connected with the divine yum yum at the same time? Yeah, you're going to have to jump across, buddy. Ah! There you go, I'm going to bleed with that hole. You're a biter. Yeah, I'm bleeding. So stick to the evidence regarding your awakenings. Is it instantaneous, a priori, here now, whenever whatever goes on? Another hole. Can you hold presence with pain? There's a good video on that one here. It's a great way to awaken you if you do have it, because it's not nice, is it? But being present takes away the suffering aspect. And being present helps your body come back to balance, so your natural healing systems can kick in. You know, you have to come across, mate. You're not getting it for free. Come on. So in the next video, I'll talk about the next stage, the second level of the awakening process towards enlightenment. It's called non-abiding, i.e. you kind of live there but you don't. Again, Ajahn term, or Nisargadatta Maharaj term. Who said it before Ajah? I'm not too sure on that one yet. Pick up the phone and call me Ajah, I'd like to know. If this stuff makes sense, then there's the correct presence practice course, so you do it properly. Pillar 1 of the enlightenment framework. And there's the laws of grace that covers everything. And they both have some coaching with them, they have to. Because I've seen how people bend this stuff with their head and don't do it right. And if you're not doing it right, it's going to be a long journey. We can't afford a long journey at this point in time because of what we're doing to this planet and the pandemic and everything else, hey? And we need results. And it is mathematical. The laws of grace proves it. I'll give you the maths in the laws of grace. And the people that fail to awaken have abysmal maths because they're not doing what's required, therefore it doesn't count. So I'll try and shut up. I'll see you in the next video. I'm Jason for AwakenedEssence.com. You're all just very chaotic animals, eh? You're just all very naughty, eh? You're making me bleed, which isn't good.